And this is actually something that's quite new for me tonight, and so I'm going to have to explain it, in a bit of a different way than what I normally do. But sometimes when you listen to people talk about God and you listen to people talk about Jesus and what he's done and what he's done in their lives, it can be really easy to be like, yeah, but that's for you. You wouldn't really do that for me. Or, yeah, but it sounds good, yeah, but that's something that you can do. That's not for me, thanks, I'm good. And sometimes it's because it can seem really unrealistic. Like you watch like your favorite singer or something. Like I know Justin Bieber has said that he's a Christian. And so people look at him and they listen to his testimony and things and they're like, yeah, but you're really rich. And so, like, you got all the money, and we can justify reasons why their stories are invalid, and we can justify reasons why it just wouldn't work for us. But I'm going to share a little piece of something that happened in my life. And I don't normally like to share things that happen in my life because I don't like talking very much about stuff that's gone on. However, I do believe that after a few years of really keeping this to myself and only giving out this little part of my life to certain people who I felt could use it, I felt last week that it was the right time to share it, and hopefully it will help some of you guys in the room today. But before I start, I just want to say that I'm not sharing this to point you guys towards me. I'm not sharing it to point you guys towards how strong I am or how my ability to get through life is unmatched compared to everyone else, because that is totally not the case. And you're about to find that out, actually. You're about to find out why I am standing here in front of you today. So I'm going to be really quick because I genuinely don't like talking about this, but God has given me this part of my life and I feel that he's given me this now to share it with you. And I really hope that some people find strength and encouragement from it, and perhaps it can lead you. And that's my ultimate aim, is to lead you towards him, because he's the reason why I'm here today. So before I met my lovely husband, Kieran, I was in a relationship. And this relationship, I was quite young when I was in this relationship, and I put my whole heart and soul into this person. I trusted them with everything. I very, very, very quickly. It was kind of like a young love thing, we met in school and he was like really popular and everybody really liked him. And for me, I was like, why would he want to date me? But he wanted to date me. And so I was really, really kind of like elated. And for the first couple of months, things were great. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to last forever. And we're going to get married, we're going to have lots of kids, oh my God, it's going to be so fun. And then all of a sudden we broke up. But the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because this breakup was actually quite catastrophic in my life. The relationship lasted for just under a year, and I was very young, and it really did completely break me. And fun fact, I was actually broken up with in that very sound booth next to Neil Emmett. Now, so this building holds a lot of memories for me, okay? It's a job to get back in it. No, I'm joking. But no, I remember it was coming for a couple of weeks, and I just knew that this person was about to leave my life. And this person had really integrated into my life. And if you know me, you know that me and my parents were very close. I'm an only child. And so this person really integrated with our family. And all of a sudden, he was just leaving again. And the world just seemed like such a lonely place. It just, I had the text through and it was like, oh, I just don't think this is working anymore, I'm done. And I was like, the betrayal I felt, and just feeling so, like nobody understood the pain that I was going through. Now, when I've told my story, I've had people saying like, oh, but you were really young, what did you know? But guys, like everybody's experience with this kind of thing is different, isn't it? Some of us really take it on. Some of us are kind of more distant, which I gotta say, I wish I was. But I was the type of person to just go all in. And I remember I went home that night. My mother took me to Big Tesco in Llansamlet. We now call it the breakup Tesco. Because that's where she took me. She bought me like 4 tubs of Ben & Jerry's, a new top from F&F, and loads of Skittles. And so it was really funny. So obviously I'm young, I'm single, and I was just lonely. And I've always grown up in a Christian home. Christian home was always something that has been a huge part of my life. Christianity has always been a huge part of my life. But my parents were very, very clear to me that Christianity was a personal decision. So before I go forward, I just want to say, although I was born into a Christian home, my parents were amazing. And they were like, this is your decision. You know, Christ is not something that we can push on you. You decide if you want to become a Christian. And I did decide, but I had walked away. I had completely walked away, and I just sort of said, yeah, I'll live the life, you know, I'll come to church, I'll smile, I'll wave, I'll do the thing. But like in my heart, I just wasn't really prepared to listen to God. I wasn't really prepared to do anything. Really, I just sort of had the label of I go to church, therefore I'm a Christian. And that's kind of how it was for me for a few years. But now I'm single and I'm lonely. I'm constantly trying to find ways to fill this emptiness inside of me. And I was just completely broken. And if any of you have been through a breakup, which I'm sure some of us have, it's that really weird feeling like you've lost that other part of yourself. And I had lost myself completely. And I remember talking to my mum, and my mum was like, yeah, and my mother's lush. Like, anyone who knows my mum, she is a literal angel. She's amazing. She just sat on the edge of my bed and she went, Chloe, I think, honey, you just need to find yourself again. And you're not going to find yourself again unless you find yourself in him first. And so I was sort of like bewildered, kind of angry that she would say that to me. I wanted her to tell me how rotten my ex was and how boys are trash anyway, never get married and all this, you know. But she walked out and I sat there with those words and I just sort of meditated on them. So life went on, carried on going to school, was faced with my ex every day. It was a really, really difficult time. And one day I was just on my phone. I was scrolling, as you do, mindlessly trying to fill the void. And I came across this quote. And I really do believe that God wanted me to see this quote because it changed the whole path for me. And it said, the God who created your heart can most definitely heal it. And so I just remember sitting in my room, literally on my knees, sobbing and just saying, God, I have nothing left to offer you other than my broken heart. I have nothing. I've completely let myself go. I'm on the floor. I'm hurt. I'm broken. I'm damaged. I don't know why you would want me. I don't know why you would want to heal my heart, but I'm asking, would you be able to? And I'm not, guys, there wasn't like a flash of lightning. All of a sudden I get up, I'm like, oh, I'm fine, let's go get married. Like, it wasn't like that at all. It was a slow progression. It was something that I had to go through, the healing process, which was getting involved in church again, doing the things I love. But, you know, the main thing was recommitting my life back to Christ. And I can honestly say, guys, that I really did find my identity and who I am in Jesus. And I ended up just finding out that God can use our pain for a purpose. Now, I got myself into this relationship, but God allowed me to walk through that to show me how faithful he was. Because throughout it all, guys, I was never alone. And he reminded me of this in my healing process. He reminded me, do you know what? Never once did I leave you. And there was this one Bible verse that I came across, and I've held it close to my heart ever since. And it's Isaiah 46:4, and it says, even to your old age and your grey hairs, I am he who will sustain you. I have made you and I will carry you. I will sustain you and I will rescue you. And I just want to draw your attention there to the bits where it says I. He doesn't say, I am going to take you over here and give you to them because they are going to sort your problems out because I'm a little bit too busy. He doesn't say, I can't really handle that, all that mess and all that burden that you've caused yourself, so I'm just going to walk away and you can deal with it yourself. He says, no, I'm going to do it. I am going to rescue you and I'm going to heal you. And I had to really take him at his word on that one. And I had to say, do you know what, God, I know you created me. I know you created my heart, and so I know that you can heal it. Fast forward a couple of years later, I'm now in a position where I can talk about it. Not that I like talking about it. Do not be lulled into a false sense of security. I am shaking right now. But I'm in a place where I'm able to talk about it and I'm able to help people. And do you know what? I was, in a personal way, I was very damaged in terms of my heart. I struggled to trust people. I struggled to look at people for who they were. I was like, I just don't really know who you are. I don't know if you are who you say you are. I don't know anything about you. And I really isolated myself, but through this process, God would show me little things that he had put in place each time for me. And he showed me each time, when this happened, I was there. I was there when you were on the floor crying at 3 a.m. because you couldn't go on anymore. And I was there when all your friends were telling you that he's not worth it and you felt in your heart that he was, but he wasn't. I was there at that point. And I was the one that was in your room that night when you thought that nobody was listening to you weeping. I was there. And he took me through all of these things. And now I can stand here in front of you today and say that you know somebody that has been impacted by the love and the grace and the faithfulness of Christ. And it's really easy for me to stand up here and to say to you guys, like, God is this, God is that. I don't want you to think that I come up here not having been broken and not having gone through my own set of struggles, because I'm telling you I have. But by the grace of God, I'm not where I was. And I wanted to share that with you tonight. I don't know what your personal circumstances are. I don't know where you're at in life, and I don't know where your heart is. I don't know whether your heart is broken or completely fine. But what I can tell you is that if your heart is completely shattered and just spread out across the floor, I know the God that can put it back together, because he did that for me. He really did. And a couple of years later, I've been married for 4 years. I met the love of my life a couple of years later, who is genuinely such an incredible man. And God showed me, this is what I wanted for you all along. But in my pain and in my suffering, I can now help other people who are in the same situation as me. And that's kind of what I wanted to do for you guys tonight. I just wanted you guys to know that there is a God that really does love you so, so much and is willing to heal all of these broken things in your life if you just allow him to come in. I'm going to ask now...